Okay, guys, today's prophetic word is our emotions are ruling us in some areas, and we need to get a little bit more better about not letting them rule us. Okay, some of us get on this roller coaster and we go, ooh, doo, doo, we're up one day, we're down one day. And that isn't what God speaks over us. Okay, He speaks an abundant life that by far is not like there are no like it's not a perfect life. We don't, never have problems, any of that, but we get to choose how we deal with those, right? And so many times we get the negativity comes and it puts us on this like downward spine, downward spine spiral. And I want you to get to the place that when that happens, that you are able to really hone in and with a grateful heart, like just start spewing gratefulness. What are you grateful? I heard the best thing the other day, and I've been doing it for about a week. Um, Somebody said before, I can't remember where I heard this from, but they said, like, before you look at your calendar, before you start your day, write out two or three things that you have accomplished over the past few days. What are some great things that you've done or has happened? Okay. Because it takes away that I have to do this and I have to, and this kind of spiral, this downward spiral that we kind of get into. Okay. And that emotion that makes us think, I can't get it all done. And so gets it all done. And how do they do all that stuff? Okay. I want you to really get to the place where gratitude is what you start with. Okay. And I literally have been doing that. And it's like, I'll write two things down. Okay. Like, I'm not saying like write an entire book, but write a few of those things down. And I want to speak to you specifically if you've walked through trauma. Okay. You walked through physical abuse, emotional abuse. You just walked through a bunch of junk. Maybe you've had people abandon you, like whatever that looks like. Okay. Like there's so many, I think we've all walked through some trauma, quite frankly. Um, we tend to go downward quicker. Okay. When we've been disappointed, when our expectation doesn't meet what we thought it would, okay, then we get into that place where all we can see is the negative. All we can see is doom and gloom. And part of dealing with trauma is that you have to change the story. And the only way to do that is to switch, is to constantly be speaking something different. Okay. So I'm going to give you a really good tip for this. And you know yourself. Okay. Like, I don't have to like look at you and be like, Susie Q, when do you start this? Like, you know, okay. Like, be honest with yourself. When you do that, I want you to grab a piece of paper. I want you to grab your phone, do a voice memo, write a note, whatever that looks like. Okay. But I want you to write down just a few things that have happened that have been great in your life. I want you to write down a few things where God has come in and provided, where He's answered prayers. You know what the enemy wants? The enemy wants us to live in that place where we don't think God will do anything, where our expectation is doom and gloom, where our expectation aren't met, where we're constantly disappointed. And it really is a choice. So I want you in those moments, okay? And maybe you're like, Connie, I don't have pen and paper. I don't have my phone with me. Then I just want you to whisper it. Okay? Just whisper it. All you have to do is say, God, thank you. Thank you that we have a house. Thank you that we have food on the table. Thank you that I have an amazing friend. who is so encouraging to me. Thank you that I found that penny on the ground. Y'all, when you do even those little things, they turn into big things. And the enemy goes, oh crap. She just figured out what it means. That, and you guys, your faith, your trust, it just builds it. Okay. Just try it. Okay, just try it, because it's just an amazing exercise. And literally, you don't have to write it down. You don't have to, just literally start to speak that. Okay, you know when you're spiraling down. Okay, you know when the thoughts in your head are nothing positive. Okay, you know that. And so I just want you to get to that place where you're really like seeking his face and being like, okay, God, thank you. There's nothing like a grateful heart. Nothing like a grateful heart in our lives. Okay, so make that a habit. And look, it's a habit. Okay, it's going to take more than once to get sometimes out of the funk that we're in, out of the chaos that we're in, but do it. Okay, what we don't want to do is allow those emotions to control what we're thinking, what we're feeling, the dialogue in our head. Like, we don't want our emotions to do that. Emotions lie. Okay. Like, 1 minute we can be happy and then next minute we're not, right? Like, it's amazing how like different our emotions can be. So I want you to just be consistent with that. Just take a minute and do that. Okay. That really is the biggest way. So I've also put together for you guys a 3 video. It's how I release the junk. Okay, whether you've walked through trauma, whether you've walked through just hard times, like, we hold on to that. And so there's 3 different techniques I use all the time. And so if you want this video, it's in the description, and immediately downloads. Okay, so you can grab that. I mean, it's super reasonable for you to do that, but it will help you be able to get off that emotional roller coaster. Okay, because it gives you the tools to be able to release a lot of that stuff. Okay, so anyway, I hope that you'll pick that up. So you guys, let me pray over you right quick. Please leave a comment. Okay, even if it's just hi. I would love to hear, like, if you prayer or if you just have a praise. I want to hear. Okay, even in the comments, something you're grateful for. Okay, let's start it off. Something you're grateful for. God, we thank you that we don't have to live in an emotional roller coaster. God, that yes, we're going to have hard days. And yes, there's going to be things that happen that we just weren't expecting. But God, we are grateful that you give us tools, that you give us the truth, and that we can just sit in your peace and your joy. God, we thank you for that. God, we ask for healing for anyone that needs healing. God, we just ask for financial provision. God, over everybody that's listening. God, we praise you. We thank you in your precious name. Amen. Okay, guys, have a great day.